Okay, good afternoon. Looks like we are 5 minutes late, but we are going to catch up. And we are very efficient, very effective. We are all moved by AI, so we will be the best. You'll be the best speakers of the day. Okay, my name is Armand. Please come in. We have seats here. So my name is Armand Angeli, and I lead the French CFO network. And these CFOs, they are very interested by AI. They are also very interested by cost management. And we are lucky today about the ways into Europe and what they have to say to CFOs and how it relates to AI. So having said that, Jacob, are you ready?
So ready.
Good.
After
We are not ready. No background. It's us. No background.
we're fine without the background. We're good without the background.
But you can bring the background later. Yeah, it's fine. We can talk. Yeah, we like to talk. So bring the background anytime.
Everyone's on the edge of their seat for the background. 5 minutes. Great to be here with everyone. Thank you for the patience.
So yeah, and you can see the CFOs are not boring, right? Good. So Jacob, who are you?
Absolutely. My name is Jacob. I grew up in Sweden, but I've spent the past 15 or so years in the US, and I am here to represent Ramp. Ramp is a finance automation platform. It's been in the market for about 6-7 years in the US. And we help automate all of your business's finances. All the tedious parts we take away from you so that you can focus on what matters most. We launched with a corporate card. Does my mic still work? It does. We have all the excitement here today. We launched with a corporate card on the Visa network, and over time we've added more and more features that help the CFO and their team take care of all their finances. So employee reimbursements, procurement software, a travel portal. We offer banking-like products, and increasingly more and more AI to help automate those less interesting parts of the finance job, as well as tracking all the AI spending that more and more of our customers are seeing across their company. We serve about 70,000 customers in the US today, from potato farms in Idaho all the way to Visa and Uber, some of the largest companies in the US. And as mentioned, we are just now expanding into Europe, which as a European, I am particularly excited about, and we'll be launching in the UK to begin with later this summer, and the rest of Europe to follow from there. And great to be here with all of you.
Good. Let's see. Lots of companies are saying, "Oh, now we have this great AI product." But can you tell us, are you like a AI native? Are you just embarking AI because it's a big trend, or it's just for you putting AI everywhere, but you're not really AI? So, are you AI native?
Yeah, I think the answer varies depending on the product line. So we have one new product we launched about a month ago called Stack, which is an automatic agent that closes the books for you. So that's actually a product for accountants who have to close the books at the end of the month. And this is a product purpose-built just for that, and so can go through that entire process and take that off of your plate. That's incredibly AI native, I would say. Somewhere in the middle, maybe you would put something like our policy agent that will look at any of your expenses across your company, evaluate that against the policy that you have written in English or French for that matter, and tell you whether or not this specific expense was in policy, which is also driven by AI. LLMs are very good at that, but perhaps a bit less native than the Stack product I just mentioned. And I think the last thing that we do in AI, which is not quite powered by AI, but really relevant in this age, is what I mentioned about helping companies track token spend. So we have a new functionality there that is going to come to general availability soon, where we can actually help you see across the company who is spending tokens, which models are they using, and sort of bringing the conversation that the CFO is having and can now bring in the CIO or the CTO to look at, are we deploying the capital, the resources on the best models where it's most appropriate, or are people using Fable to do something perhaps they should use something open source and low cost for?
So wait, so you are telling me that you are closing the books for me as a CFO. You are allowing me not to sign a blank check for all these LLMs. And how come you haven't been in Europe before? Why did you wait so long?
You sound like me for the past few years. No, but more seriously, it's a very complex space to build into, and so we spent the past 7 years just building an amazing product for the U.S. market. And there's a lot of similarities. You know, a CFO in France will look at token spend the same way that a CFO in the U.S., but some other things are a bit more regionalized. And so we wanted to make sure we did a great job there before we started building for more markets. I think the other thing that has happened is that we've had the pleasure of working with many companies that are global by nature. So Stripe, for example, has a very big European presence. 11 Labs, Cognition, who are both here today, are longtime Ramp users who have employees all over the world. And so over the past few years, those customers and many others have pulled us to other markets and said, I now need some functionality from you in the UK, in Singapore, in Paris. And so over time, we built that out. And so today we're at a place where we can actually deliver a great product here as well. But we want to make sure that we did it right from the beginning.
By the way, the day after we talked, when you told me, but we are not yet in France, I talked to 2 French CFOs who are global CFOs who are using Ramp. So it seems like you are doing a good job. But now I am a CFO. You want to talk to CFOs, but AI is not always a CFO play. So what's your approach? Do you prefer to talk to CFOs, to CIOs, to both of them together? What's your pitch?
Yeah, I think for the CFO, there's 2 things that are important on the. Ooh,
wow. I think we like it better without the lights.
It's very casual before, and soon enough we'll have the background too. I think for the CFOs, there's a few different things that are relevant for them. One, like any other department, the CFO is getting the question: what are you doing with AI? How are you becoming more efficient? How are you able to go further with the resources that you have? And Ramp ends up being a very good answer because we can automate all those tedious things I mentioned before. And so that's one conversation we have a lot with the CFOs. The second piece, which is where I think the CFOs and other leadership team members, such as the CTO, CIO, becomes more relevant, is double-clicking into, like you said, the blank check that you write to the model providers. How can you actually track that more closely? We've all read the stories of massive companies blowing through their entire budget in 2 months that should have lasted 12 months. And so that's a conversation that, of course, the CFO cares a lot about, but so do other members of the team. And that product, our token spend management product, becomes very relevant for any member of the technical team, both to track costs, but even to see understand what does the usage look like, what models are we using, what projects are they being used on, and what is that doing to drive our business forward.
Okay, so I am a CFO. I come to you or you come to me. What's your promise? How long does it take to do the first test of your product? So do you have a step approach, or is it or do you implement everything at once? What's your approach, and how fast does it go?
Yeah, so we have about 5 distinct product lines, the ones that I mentioned at the top there. Just about all of our customers historically have started at least with the card and expense management product. It's where we started, and it's where a lot of things sort of originate from. But by now, more than half of our customers use at least 2 products. Okay. And I want to say something like a third use at least 3. And so we're seeing quite a lot of adoption across the entire portfolio. And so you could get started with the procurement module, if that's the thing that you're looking for first, or perhaps accounts payable is your biggest pain point, or tomorrow maybe tokens are the thing that you're the most worried about, and so that's where you get started. All these different product lines tend to work very nicely with one another, and so if you sign up for one and then you add another one on top of it, you tend to get even further. And we see, of course, the best results from the companies that use all these different features. And depending on the company size, you can get started within a week or a couple of weeks and really start seeing the results in your organization.
Great. So you can do my closing. You can do my closing in 26. Good. Can I ask how do you deal with the ERPs of the world? Because you are best of breed products, but yet these SAPs of the world, they don't want to lose some of their customers, or at least some of the revenue. So how do you deal with them?
Yeah, I think it's a really important part of the ecosystem for us. It's not an area that we play in. We often explain to people that we want to be a really strong integration with your ERP. as opposed to replacing your ERP or your accounting system. And so our integrations with NetSuite, to QuickBooks, Xero, and some of the newer players in this space too, like Rillet and Campfire, is something we put quite a lot of emphasis on, because we tend to see these as different jobs to be done. You have a system of record and you have a system of action. We tend to live much more in the system of action, where we help you actually deploy that spend, manage it, control it as well as possible, and then as you book that in your books and analyze that over time, that might be something where the ERP is of great help to you, and it's not a place we operate in today.
Okay. Since it's only you and me, can you tell me what are your differentiators with the current European competition?
Yeah, I think a few different things. I think on the one hand, because we grew up in the American market and we've been pulled over by these very large customers to Europe and the rest of the world, we spend a lot of time thinking about these very large customers. What does Uber need to be successful? And that tends to be a slightly different type of question than if you're serving, a mom and pop shop of 10 employees or something like that. And so that's one area where I think we have spent slightly more time thinking about things. I think the second thing that stands out is on the AI side. My impression from the first couple of customers that we've onboarded in Europe is that functionality, if it's on the policy that I mentioned before, or for accounts payable, we help you prevent fraud because we can track if an invoice is fraudulent, even down to something like just good extraction from a receipt so that you don't have to type in as many things on your own. All those features, we've had the opportunity to invest in them for such a long time in the US, and those are really, really quite differentiated. I think that the third thing that I'll mention is, in the US, our focus was always on building fantastic software that pairs with payments, as opposed to just getting obsessed with the payment side of things. It needs to be good enough, but you can go really, really deep. Oh, look at that. You can go really, really deep with the software. And I have been surprised when people switch from a provider to Ramp that they are. I was talking to someone just earlier who was saying that the difference in the experience that I have as an employee, where they had gone from a legacy provider to Ramp, is difficult to overstate. And you can just go really, really deep on that in a way that I don't think I had appreciated until I heard from people who had made that switch.
Okay, let's see. Without going into politics, but we will. Will you have a European solution? Yeah, more than American solution, if you see what I mean.
Can you elaborate?
Can you? How about sovereignty? How about data not going the wrong way?
Absolutely. No, it's a super important question. Sorry.
Sorry for asking, because he's both American and Swedish, so I couldn't not ask.
And Sweden is very neutral, so that's a good thing.
Are you?
No, it's a really, really important question. So we are licensed in both Sweden and the UK. And so with that, you have to be compliant with where data resides and how that is stored. And so ensuring that we can store the data in the right place, both from a regulatory point of view, but even just from a customer preference point of view, is incredibly important. And I think this also cascades down to models, where you want to know, which model am I deploying? Do I have preference on that? And that's definitely something that we're thinking about as well.
Okay, I think we are time is up. We won't take any questions, but because we don't see your name, could you just repeat your name and how to find you? So, yeah.
Absolutely. Thank you so much for spending time with us. My name is Jacob Wallenberg. Again, we're ramp.com, coming to UK later this summer and Europe shortly after that. Thank you so much.